Well, the internet went crazy this past weekend because of the first time since 2011. LeBron James was hooping in the Drew League, put on the show with a stat line of 42 points and 16 rebounds. Not every day you get a billionaire to play in the summer league, but that's what happened when the King took court there. LBJ will have another decision, though, by the way, to make when it comes to money moves in the Lakers just next month. James has a year remaining on his current contract, but he will be eligible come August 4th for a 2-year extension worth up to $97.1 million. Doesn't really need all those pennies, but since he's been there in LA, it's been a mixed bag of tricks there. Last year, of course, missing out on the playoffs, as well as 2018. And then the year before that, lost in the first round. But there is one bright spot. You see there 2019, 2020 went 52 and 19, also winning that championship in the bubble. Mr. Pick and Roll tapping in, Avery Johnson here on HQ. And let's break this down in two parts here, starting with how important August 4th will be for LeBron James and the Lakers with that decision.
Well, it's going to be significantly important because LeBron James has a huge decision to make. And by the way, he looked really good in that Drew League game, independent of his stats or him going 2 for 13 from 3. His body looked extremely good. And I think he was sending a message to Anthony Davis, get in shape. But again, for LeBron, it's a very important date because he really doesn't need to sign an extension. If he actually waits and becomes a free agent, it's going to give him significantly more options rather than to take this 2-year contract, because as you alluded to, you're talking about a guy that's already a billionaire. If he signs the extension for those 2 years, combined $90 million, then it locks him in, and it doesn't give the Lakers as much flexibility moving forward, especially in the summer of 2023.
By the way, it was kind of funny, the memes from that game, the Drew League. Imagine getting off your job at Best Buy and Coach telling you have to guard LeBron James in this game. Not so good for those guys on the opposing team. Getting back to this, though, LeBron, of course, if he decides to hit free agency, how could that kind of impact the rest of the association? Because when you have a guy of his stature out and available, maybe looking elsewhere to go, how does that impact the league there?
Well, first of all, it gives the Lakers a ton of options because at that point, Anthony Davis is probably on the big money contract. Westbrook is gone. You could potentially bring in LeBron, can take a lower number, kind of a la Tim Duncan. But then all of the options for LeBron, can you imagine seeing LeBron in a New York Knicks uniform? That could be his greatest accomplishment if he goes to New York and helps them win a championship, which I still don't think their roster is good enough. Can you imagine LeBron going to Dallas to play with Luka Doncic? And have those two guys on the same team, maybe allowing Luka to spend some time a little bit more off the ball, playing with a great like LeBron, who's been to the finals 9 times in his career with multiple championships, or going across the court, across the hallway to play with the Clippers and play with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So many options for LeBron James. Who knows, Phoenix Suns. So again, if he hits free agency, it's going to have a major effect on impacting the rest of the league because he'll have so many options, including returning to the Lakers and building a team and drawing other max contract type guys to the Lakers.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.